Escomatic coil-fed automatic lathe, model D2 and D4. Setup operator training system. Lesson number 3, machine lubrication. As an operator of the Escomatic model D2 or D4, you will be responsible for keeping your machine well lubricated. There are different types of oilers located on the model D2 and D4 machines. These oilers lubricate moving parts and thereby prevent wear. Lack of proper lubrication may cause part variations or damage to occur to the machine. This is an adjustable drip oiler. The drip oiler is located on top and in back of the rotating tool head. Its main purpose is to lubricate the rotating tool head. To start the drip oiler operating, lift this hinge lever into its vertical position. To stop the oil, turn it to a horizontal position. To fill the drip oiler, remove the top cover. You can now pour or pump the oil directly into the glass bowl. Replace the top. You can check the operation of the oiler by looking into this clear window in the base of the oiler and counting the number of drops per minute. Proper adjustment is 3 drops per minute. If the oiler is not supplying enough oil or too much oil, the unit should be adjusted. To adjust the drip oiler, remove the lid. Loosen this winged lock nut. This is the oiler adjusting nut. By turning this adjusting nut counterclockwise, you will increase the amount of oil flow. Turning the adjusting nut clockwise decreases the oil flow. Once the unit is properly adjusted, turn the wing lock nut counterclockwise into position against the adjusting nut and replace the cover. Then check the operation. This is another type of drip lubricator. To fill this unit, slide open this cover and pour or pump oil into the glass bowl. Close the cover. To turn the drip oiler off, put the lever into a horizontal position. Raising the lever to a vertical position will start the oil flow. Adjusting the unit is the same, except there is no lock nut and you do not have to remove the lid. The unit is adjusted for 3 drips per minute by watching the drops fall into this glass window below. Just turn the nut up or down as needed. This is a non-adjustable ball-type oiler located here on the tool arm. These ball-type oilers can be found on most moving parts and arms on the model D2 and D4 Escomatics. A hand lubricating pump is used to fill the ball oilers. Center the tip of the hand pump on the ball oiler and push. 2 pumps of oil is usually enough. If in doubt, fill the ball oiler until you can see the oil run out. These ball oilers should be filled twice a day. There are also 2 ball-type oilers located here on the rotating tool head. 1 oiler for each tool position, tool number 1 and tool number 2. This is the main gearbox located on the back side of the machine. The oil level in the gearbox should be checked once a day. By removing these 2 thumb screws, this cover can be removed. Check to be sure the oil level is at least above the middle of the bottom shaft. If the oil level is low, add oil by pouring it directly into the gearbox. Replace the cover and tighten the 2 thumb screws. Located here above the main gearbox is the hydraulic control unit for the machine's stock feeding system. Oil level for the unit can be checked through this clear cover. The unit should be filled entirely with oil. To fill the unit, remove this cap and pour in oil until the unit is full. Replace the cap and tighten. Located at the front of the Model D4 machine, to the right of the hand crank wheel, is the main coolant valve. The main coolant valve controls the flow of coolant to the drills, countercollet, and cutting tools. To turn the coolant off, turn the valve handle until it is in a horizontal position. To turn the coolant on, turn the valve handle to a vertical position. Located at the very front of the Model D2 machine, to the right of the hand crank wheel, is the main coolant valve. Its purpose is to supply coolant to the cutting tools. Adjustment is the same as the Model D4. Located next to the main coolant valve is the countercollet coolant valve. The countercollet coolant valve controls the flow of coolant to the countercollet assembly. Turning the valve toward the horizontal position will decrease the flow of coolant. Turning the valve to the vertical position will increase the flow. The purpose of the oil flow out of the countercollet is to eject the cut-off finished part out of the back of the countercollet into the parts basket. The flow of oil also keeps chips from building up in the countercollet. Located here on both the Model D2 and D4 is this cam drop oiler adjustment. This oiler controls drops of oil delivered to the cams on the main camshaft, tool cams, and drill and countercollet cams on the Model D4. To adjust the drop oiler, loosen this lock nut. Turn the adjuster counterclockwise to increase the oil flow, clockwise to decrease the oil flow. Located on the very front of the Model D4 schematic is the command box for the drill turret. Oil level in the unit should be checked periodically. Oil level can be checked by looking at this clear window. If the oil level is low, remove this cap and add oil until the unit is full. Replace the cap and tighten. A coolant reservoir for the cutting tools is located here on the rear of the machine. Coolant level should be checked with the machine off. If the machine has just been stopped, wait a short time before checking the level. This allows coolant that has been pumped into the tooling area time to return to the coolant reservoir. To fill this reservoir, remove this vent cover and pour coolant directly into the reservoir until full. Replace the vent cover. This is the coolant reservoir located in the base of the older Escomatic machines. To fill the reservoir, pour oil into the top of the machine. You can check the oil level in the reservoir through this hole in the reservoir cover. Located in both the old and new style coolant reservoirs is a filter for the coolant. This filter must be removed and disassembled. All the parts should be cleaned in solvent. To remove the filter from the reservoir, loosen and remove this fitting for the coolant line to the machine. Unplug the electrical cord for the coolant pump. Remove the vent cover. Now lift the pump and remove it from the reservoir. This is the coolant filter located in the bottom of the pump unit assembly. Loosen the filter assembly with a wrench and remove the unit. The filter screen in the unit must now be removed for cleaning. Remove the end cover and the oil tube. Push the screen filter out of the housing. The screen material should be opened and cleaned in solvent. After cleaning, replace the screen into the housing. Insert the oil tube into the housing and replace the end cover. Using 2 wrenches, one on either end of the assembly, tighten the end cover. Replace the filter assembly in the base of the pump assembly. Replace the pump unit back into the reservoir. Plug the electrical cord back into its outlet. Replace and tighten the main oil line to the coolant reservoir. This is the coolant filter located in the older style reservoir. Disassembly and cleaning of the filter is the same for both old and new style units. Remove the filter and clean it. Then reinstall the filter. Replace the filter into the coolant reservoir. Slide the coolant tank back into the base of the machine. Reconnect all the vent lines and the main coolant line to the reservoir. This is the wire cleaner located here at the rear of the machine. The purpose of the wire cleaner is to clean and lightly oil the stock. A fiber type and metal type of material are usually used. This is the fiber material block used in a portion of the wire cleaner. This is the metal scrub material used in the first half of the wire cleaner. The metal material will clean and the fiber material will wipe the stock down. This material should be replaced when it is severely matted or broken apart. Before installing the new material, oil is added to these small cups in the base of the wire cleaner. Also, a small amount of oil can be added to the fiber material. The fiber material will absorb the oil as needed. Place one piece of the material in the top and one in the bottom of the wire cleaner. Thread a piece of straightened stock into the wire cleaner. Close the unit over the stock and tighten the lock nut. Check to see that there is not too much pressure on the stock. Checking and lubricating your machine is a simple but an important duty which should not be overlooked. Check with your supervisor for the types and weights of oils and lubricants used in your shop. This completes your television training tape on machine lubrication. You may watch this tape as many times as necessary to fully understand the material. After you have finished, return to the operator booklet for your next step.